You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Orlando, hello Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night. We are live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw, assisting injured veterans to get the help that they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're also taking your calls at 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326 if you want to talk to us about UCF sports, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I am Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32, and Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter as well. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. Big day, guys, in big week in UCF football, especially. We have spring football starting. First day was yesterday. Today, obviously, was the second day, or tomorrow. I'm not sure, because I think they're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So, that's exciting. Big time exciting.
It is very exciting that the boys are getting back on the field with a new coaching staff under Gus Malzahn. It's extremely exciting to see what's in store this spring.
Super organized is what we're hearing from the players as well. They've got a drone out there, which is new for UCF. So Gus is bringing his own style of the spring practice here, and the guys have been really excited about how the first couple of them were running. Were very vocal about how organized this was and how much of a difference it was from previous administrations that were here. So, we're trying a lot of new guys out, and the message has been, hey, nobody, if you were a starter before, that's fine. You were a starter before, but we're starting from scratch. So this is a great opportunity for everybody, and people seem to be motivated.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's excited. Here's what Gus Malzahn had to say after the first day.
Day one's in the books. I told the guys at the very end, I liked their attitude. Really, I liked their effort. I did tell them we got a long way to go, but that's the fun part. The key is going to be where we're at in 15 days. And really, the guys are just learning the standard, learning how to practice the expectations. We were flying around, playing very, very fast, but I really was pretty pleased overall as far as the group's attitude, effort for the first day.
All right. Also, I have to mention right off the top, women's basketball the NCAA tournament play on Monday, I believe, and I don't know the time exactly.
4 p.m.
4 p.m., yes, thank you. 4 p.m. against Northwestern. UCF is a 10 seed. Northwestern is a 7 seed. And I have no idea what bracket they're in or whatever, because I haven't looked at that. So what region or whatever, however that works.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it works the same as the
it's
men's.
the exact same format as the men's tournament. So I don't know exactly what region they are. Everyone's in Texas this year, so just similar to the men's tournament that everybody is in Indiana this year. So it's really exciting for Coach Abe and that team. I think they really deserved it. Number one defensive team in the country. They have a chance against anybody in that tournament, I believe. And ultimately, the way they played down the stretch and really the consistency that they showed all year, I think they deserve it. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done in the AAC championship game. But getting the at-large, one of the last teams into the tournament, I think they're one that could make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got a good matchup. This is actually the highest seed that the women's basketball team has ever had. Yeah. Unfortunately, in 6 trips that they've gone, they have not been able to make it past the first round, but they're matched up with a defensive-minded Northwestern team as well. They were ranked earlier on in the season. However, they play our style. So if we can continue to play defense, we like to play games that are under 50 points. Usually if we get a team under 50 points, we win. So they're not an offensive strength, which plays into our strengths. And if our players continue like Masani Kaba and those folks play dominant as they did during the tournament on the boards and getting those second chance points, we got a lot of offensive rebounds. As long as those things continue to happen, which they match up well height-wise against Northwestern, it's going to be they're going to have a good chance to win.
All right, so I'm looking at the official bracket here, and in the 8-team bracket it's not really separated by regions or anything, but in the 8 teams is Oregon, South Dakota, Georgia, Drexel, Northwestern, UCF, Louisville, and Marist, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, Marist.
The highest seed in there is Louisville, number 2 seed. So not a 1 seed, thank goodness, in that region. But looks like the winner of Northwestern versus UCF will play the winner of Louisville and Marist. I guess it's Marist.
Is it Marist? Maybe?
Marist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
never heard of them.
That second round matchup will be really difficult.
Never heard of them.
I knew you were going there.
Louisville was the runner-up in the ACC this year. They're a really good team. But that being said, to get there would be extremely special. I was lucky enough to be in the building when the men's team beat VCU for their first round win ever, first NCAA tournament win ever. It was a very special night for the team and the alumni, the basketball alumni that was around us. And I hope that this women's team gets to experience that as well.
All right, on to the next thing here. Some NFL news as well for some of our guys. Shaquem and Shaquille Griffith, it's being reported, are both going to be signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know Shaquille will be signing a $44.5 million contract for 3 years.
3-year deal, yep.
And late breaking is that Shaquem is coming with him. So, I mean, I thought that would probably happen. In fact, I'm sure that it was probably in the negotiations, believe it or not. If you don't know the story, these guys are twins. Shaquem lost a hand at an early age, but Shaquille obviously has been the one to excel quite a bit and made it to the NFL first. He graduated first because Shaquem had an extra year of eligibility. But Shaquem plays extremely well for his, I don't know what you want to call it. He doesn't have a hand on one of his arms. But for a one-handed football player, he's an incredible football player and an incredible guy as well. But it came out over the years that Shaquem and Shaquille came to UCF because UCF and George O'Leary at the time were the only ones that would take both of them.
That's right. And
it's kind of been that way the entire time. They went to Seattle together, and now they're coming to Jacksonville together. I don't think that they're separatable. I mean, I really don't. And I was, watching some message board stuff and all this, and they should separate and go their own ways and do their own things. No, they shouldn't. Because this is the way that they've done it their entire lives. They're twins. They're literally identical twins. And I'm just happy. I know them quite well. I know their family quite well, like their extended family I know. And I'm sure they're all incredibly happy, and just filled with joy, knowing that they're going to come home to Florida to play. They don't have to go to the Northwest anymore. It's a long ways away from home. And I'm sure they're all excited to be in Jacksonville and in St. Pete and all that, because that's where they're from, and it's awesome. I cannot wait. I'm going to make it up there. I will tailgate with the family again like we used to at UCF. We did it for like 4 years of the 5 years that they were here. So me and my wife tailgated with them every week, and it was awesome. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for Shaquille, and hopefully, as you said, Shaquem coming back in the Griffin family. Welcoming their sons back to the state of Florida. It's really exciting that they get to play back in their home state. And you're right. I mean, Shaquem Griffin is probably the one that if you were to ask most UCF fans, they might say KZ first. As far as a player, the statue out front of the stadium, they might say KZ first. Shaquem Griffin would be right next to that on that list. Shaquem Griffin doesn't come to UCF or isn't at UCF, and he doesn't get to develop into what he was without Shaquille Griffin being the talent that he is. And at 25 years old, made his first Pro Bowl last year. I mean, he's really becoming a breakout star in the NFL, and he deserves every bit of that $44.5 million contract. $21 million guaranteed. He got paid. I'm just happy for him and the Griffin family.
Absolutely, yeah. He was being recruited by everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone. All the way from Alabama, all the way down and in between. So he could have gone into any school that he wanted, but he wanted to bring his brother with him.
I think that says a lot about him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those dudes are awesome.
Yeah.
The entire family is. Y'all are going to get me crying here in a second if you're not careful. Anyway, Roger, what do you think about the whole thing?
I think it's amazing for both of them. Obviously, Shaquem, kind of like at UCF, has kind of carved his own niche, right? So they were both at Seattle together. When, as you mentioned, in the 2017 team, Shaquille had left the year earlier, and Shaquem was the guy who literally was in the field house and slept there, and really set the tone for that defense. He was the heart of that defense for that 2017 team, and he continued. That's why everybody loves him so much. It's not because he's overcome so many challenges, but the heart, effort, and everything that he's put into to overcome them. So
absolutely,
really excited for that to pay off for both of them.
All right. So, yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. Well, I'm sure we'll talk maybe a little bit more about that. You guys can call 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326. We would love to hear what you have to say about any of these topics. Men's basketball we'll get to real quick here before the break. And not so good the other night in their American tournament. Games.
Well, yeah, we ran into our old nemesis, especially when it comes down to the postseason. We ran into Memphis, and it didn't work out very well. I mean, Memphis is an extremely talented team this year, and we let them jump out to a 15, 16-point lead early in the first half. We're able to claw our way back in the game. It was a 3-point game at halftime, I believe. Played very well in the second half, even took the lead with about 5.5 minutes left. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough at the end. Memphis was able to do enough and take that victory home and end the season for us. And it was up and down season. I think we show a lot of promise for the future. I'm excited about what the future of this basketball team is. This season has been a little bit of a up and down, challenging year with everything going on around them.
Yeah, and Memphis did not make it into the NCAA tournament, by the way, but Houston and Wichita State did from the American.
That's right.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back with you on Nightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans to get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. We're taking your calls, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic. I am Andrew Phegley, got Big Ben Stout here, Roger Phipps. So we're talking UCF sports, obviously. We're going to talk a little bit more about football in this segment. Dylan Gabriel finally got to talk to him with the media the other day, and here's what he said about Gus and the staff.
Of course, I knew him growing up, obviously, coaching at Auburn and just being that high-profile coach. But, just when he came in, I just wanted to treat him like, a real man and just be approachable and have that good conversation. And we were able to have that. And, I got a lot of respect for him just after having continuous conversations with him. He's someone I look up to, and he's a role model, just the way he handles himself, the way he holds himself, and also just the way he speaks to others. He's very loving and caring, and he told me he's going to coach me up the hardest. So I'm ready for it, and I'm excited for it. This coaching staff really just cares. They're genuine. They're real. They're just truthful, and that's all you can ask as a player. Having that, it feels really good because I know he's going to coach me. Coach Kenny's going to coach me to the best of his ability, push me, which is something I want, and I know all the QBs want. And I know at other positions they're doing the same thing. They communicated that at team meetings and unit meetings. So we're prepared for it. We're going to be coached up at a high level. We knew that when Coach Gus was coming in, and we're excited for it. All
right. Well, we'd all been kind of waiting for that, to hear something from Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback for UCF. We weren't sure how he was taking this, especially in the beginning, because he wanted Jeff Lebby really bad to be the coach at UCF. Got Gus Malzahn. I think he got the better end of the deal. Honestly, I love Coach Lebby. I'm personally friends with him, and I would have loved it if he was here. But you can't be upset, I don't think, about Gus Malzahn. We've talked about this at length. We were kind of wondering, though, if DG was on board, and we knew that he would come around, obviously, but it really sounds like he was. If you read between the lines there a little bit, he was talking, especially in the end, about these guys being genuine and listening and everything else. So I think that might have been a little jab.
Truthful.
Yeah.
Truthful, yeah.
It was interesting to hear him talk about it. Not only is him and Gus seem to be building a rapport rather quickly, and that's exciting to hear about. That trust is being gained. But what we talked about when Gus got hired and him entering the program is we feel like we kind of got a grown-up coach. Like we got a real, experienced college football coach. And I think that all the players after day one, and Dylan obviously being the leader, one of the leaders of the team, and talking about it in a way that, not only the organization of practice, but just the way the coaches talk to them and teach them. You can feel like the players are talking about it anyways as it being raised up another level, and that's just really cool to hear. It's like they're graduating to a different level of football, and hopefully more to come, obviously, on that.
Not only that, but you can tell just how much feeling there is there, right?
Yeah.
So, with Dylan Gabriel, he's usually been a pretty standard. He's kind of like Mackenzie Milton. You don't hear anything. He's even keeled. But he and the other players have been really, really pointing out how much these folks have been connecting. This coaching staff has been connecting with them. And whether it be the defensive line, you heard about Williams, everything else, that's what's got me really excited, because that's kind of the feeling we had with Frost.
And the relationship between Gabriel and G.J. Kinney seems to be really taking off right away. They seem to have that connection with his 1 year at Hawaii, and just being able to kind of relate on that. Seems to be that relationship is a good one for Dylan and the coaching staff.
Yeah, anytime you can get somebody that has even experienced the Hawaii thing and lived there and understands. Dylan Gabriel did talk about that. I do not have that clip, but he definitely talked about it during the press conference. Somebody asked him about that, and he just said, look, he knows who I am. He knows where I come from. He knows, kind of the deal. So they will see eye to eye quite a bit more. And he also said that he's done it. He's done it in college football. He's done it in the NFL, and it's a little bit different. Obviously, Heupel had done it in college football, and Frost had done it in, well, Frost really doesn't matter with Dylan Gabriel, but, Heupel had obviously done it at both levels a little bit as well. So, but I think it's a little different with this guy. He's a little bit younger, has a lot more in common, I guess, with them.
And he's his position coach too, which is also helpful. Having that kind of head of the program and Gus Malzahn, and then having that relationship with your position coach. I think it's a good thing for Dylan.
Absolutely, and I think we have a true head coach instead of a coach of the offense and a coach of the defense, especially from what we had heard before, that it was kind of like that. So it'll be interesting to see how well these guys play for Gus Malzahn. I can't wait. I think it's going to be really exciting. We got more clips coming up. We're going to talk a lot more about this when we come back after the break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this. We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back on Knightline at Night with you. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com if you are a veteran that is in need of help. Chad will get you the help, I promise you. He's a great guy. And we need to give back and help the vets, but get what they need. So if you're one of those guys or gals, definitely give him a call, please. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls, 844-580-9326, or use the open mic feature on the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. And then Big Ben Stout is here with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps is with me as well at Night Bengal on Twitter. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. We're going to go to the phones here real quick. We got our good friend Andrew from Oviedo on the line. Andrew, my friend, what's going on tonight?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, I got a two-part question, or I should say a two-sport question for you guys. I guess number one is, this year for UCF football, would you prefer to have the offense score more points or the defense give up less points for the coming year? And the next sport question is what's your thought on UCF baseball? I'm just kind of curious.
Okay.
I'm just curious why I follow them as long as I know.
I'm curious why you follow them as well, to be honest with you. But no, I'll go with the baseball thing first. Those are great questions, by the way. I'm not a baseball fan at all. Like, literally, I would rather watch paint dry. And it's about the same to me. I just don't like it. I grew up in Kansas City being a Royals fan, and you can probably understand why I don't like baseball. Because most of my life, they've been horrible. So I'll let the other guys talk about baseball, but I'll talk to you about the football thing. I'm a defensive guy, so I would always rather the defense did not allow people to score points. I mean, that's the whole point of the game. The less points the other team scores, you win the game, you know? So, I mean, I love the high-powered offense and all that. I love the deep passes and the big runs and, like, even grinding out, 1 and 2 yard runs. I love all that stuff, but there's nothing more than I love to see, a third down stop or a fourth down stop or an end zone, like a end zone stop, on the goal line going in, red zone stop. But yeah, I mean, so I'm going to go with defense on that. Ben, go ahead. I'm going to cop out a little bit on this one for football. In the sense that I've been saying for years, like, why can't we have a really good defense along with this high-powered offense? And I finally feel like the coaching staff is put into place. We're going to see if we're going to find out with some players that we're getting back and some newcomers coming in that, whether or not we can become this. But, I really do feel like the game plan that's going to be put into these games is going to allow us to have a much improved defense from what we've seen the last couple of years. So I certainly want to see the improvement on defense. Now, I certainly don't want to drop on offense. Like, if we average 1 point less on offense, I'll be totally fine, and I won't be. But with the weapons that we have on offense, with a leader like Dylan Gabriel, I don't see how we really drop off much on offense. But I'm excited about the improvement that the defense is going to see. And as for UCF baseball, I do like to watch UCF all sports. Baseball is one of them, especially with the ESPN Plus, the games being on ESPN Plus. But they've just been really inconsistent this year, and Roger probably knows more details behind that than we have. But when we go to an opponent in the number one team in the country in Ole Miss and win that series at their place, and then come back and just kind of lay an egg versus teams, it's been the inconsistency's been really awkward this year.
All right, so I hate to bite off of both of your points, but I'm with the defense as well, and here's why. To your point, Ben, I don't think we're going to have much of a drop-off, if any, especially with that system. I mean, this is an offense that has led the nation in scoring for the better part of 2017, 2018, 2019, and this past season, right? So I don't see them dropping off that much. And even if they were averaging like 44 to 47 points per game, even if they drop 10 points per game, if the defense is doing its job and can hold them to 25 points or 30 points a game, we're going to win the vast majority of those games. I think the opportunity is there. Some of the people that we're bringing in, we're strengthening the defensive line. Coach Malzahn is upping the game of who we're bringing in, both on the transfer side and on the folks that we're starting to bring in. We've had challenges with our linebackers that have hurt us in long stretches of the game. We've never had it. There's no worse feeling than being up big and then not being able to hold that throughout the rest of the game. So I'm going to go defense on that as well. As far as baseball is concerned, I do watch baseball. I do enjoy the guys. The problem with baseball is that baseball is a game of a pitching staff, and we don't have a third pitcher that can do that consistently, and our bullpen has been decimated. We've been spoiled with the bullpen that we've had. Our knuckleballer went to the MLB, and he got picked up in the draft throwing an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. So that tells you how good they were. We've got the hitting. It's spotty. And the other challenging thing for me, though, is not necessarily the hitting. It's the errors, the fundamentals that we're missing. There's so many times, like even just, fielding a ball in the infield and throwing it to first base. I mean, that should be the most basic thing a third baseman or a second baseman or a shortstop does. And we somehow manage to mess that up. And it's just mental errors. And I don't know where that's coming from because we really haven't seen that from UCF baseball teams. But that's what frustrates me the most. With that, I'm still going to watch, but man, is it tough to watch this season.
All right, Andrew, if you're still there, I would like to hear your opinion on the football thing.
I'm going to go with pretty much the majority is defense, is because I've been conditioned as a player. Reason why I follow baseball is because I played it for 13, 14 years, so it's just probably just my passion from a player perspective. So I've always preferred defense over offense. I mean, offense is nice, but I'll tell you one thing. I'd rather be more reliant on our defense than our offense trying to score. It's been frustrating being up 20 to 21 points and not feeling comfortable your team's going to win. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah. Well, I think with the staff that we've got now, I mean, defense is going to be a much bigger thing than it was before, I believe. Even with Randy Shannon, you would think that he would be really solid on how he wanted that defense, but I don't know. I mean, I know one of the coaches extremely well, and I know for a fact that our secondary will be in very good shape and will be very exciting players. So the one thing I'm worried about, though, and I said this on Knightline, the podcast, the other night. The thing that I'm worried about the most is replacing Richie Grant. That's the thing that worries me the most out of everything, is that safety. A really strong, hard-hitting, strong-willed player back there is extremely important. And I think we're going to miss him a lot. So I'm excited to see who they find to fill that gap. And I think that it will get done. It'll be interesting to see who it is.
Yeah, there's a guy in Devad Wilson that we weren't able to see last year, right? So there's a lot of unknowns on that. Nobody's replacing Richie Grant, right? Like he should be a top 3 round draft pick. If I was, he's a fantastic player, and he was great in that. He was just a anchor in that secondary, but certainly, hopefully there's a couple of guys that we were looking to see last year at times and just didn't get a chance to see. So hopefully Devad Wilson.
Thank you, Andrew, by the way. Really appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Yeah, take care, guys.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, Andrew.
So one thing I forgot, I just pulled it back up on my computer screen. We need to talk about this, the spring game.
Yeah.
Did I even mention this earlier?
No, you haven't mentioned it yet.
Man.
Yeah.
I had all this stuff on this computer screen. They're all layered windows that I was going to talk about tonight. The spring game has been announced. We all knew that it was April 10th, but now the details have been announced a little bit. So the UCF spring game will be April 10th, and it will be at noon. I know a few people are upset about that. I mean, it is what it is. It's a spring game. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. But the other thing is 25% capacity at this time. I think for this game, no tailgating will be allowed on campus. Social distancing and masks will be required within the confines of the bounce house, except when fans are eating and drinking. Tickets going on sale soon. And then the no tailgating thing. Terry Mahajer said this Due to COVID, that initially had not planned. Hold on, wait. wrong paragraph there. We're not yet in the position where tailgating will be permitted. At this, it's the most beneficial for student athletes that we hold the game early in the day. I'm very aware of Night Nation's passion for night games to maximize the tailgating experience, and he looks forward to experiencing that in full force in the fall. So. And then he goes on to say, we're moving forward with plans to sell out the bounce house this fall. We will certainly abide by all medical guidelines, but we are planning on 100% capacity. So that's huge. Just to even say that, just to even give us even the little hope that we'll tailgate, and we'll be able to be 100% and have that place sold out, because if you went to a game last year, the vibe was bad in that place. It was just a really weird, very strange vibe. I went to the Cincinnati game, which should have been the craziest game, one, right? Should have just been packed, and should have just been crazy, but it was really weird. With not very many people there at all, everybody wearing masks and, socially distanced, and the place just looked empty, and there was just no crowd energy. So I cannot wait for that to come back. Now, there is some sports coming up in Florida that are going back to 100%.
UFC is one of
UFC.
Yeah.
We're not talking about UCF here. We're talking about UFC.
That is not a slip.
Yeah, UFC in their UFC 261 will be at Jacksonville Arena, and it is going to be on April 24th, and it's going to be 100% capacity in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the first one that I know of in Florida, at least, going back to 100% capacity. That will tell us a lot 2 weeks after that, I guess, if that's the numbers where things happen. But I'm looking forward to see what happens with that. I'm looking forward to see how many people go. UFC events are insane. And if you've ever gone before or you haven't, you should go again, because it's awesome. My second favorite sport, I think, besides football. It probably goes football, UFC, and auto racing, believe it or not, of many different genres of auto racing, by the way. So we're getting back. We're getting back to normal, slowly but surely. It's exciting. We got just a couple minutes here.
For the spring game for me, I'm with Timo. I'm glad he heard me that I definitely want a 6:00 game. And I do want to enjoy my full day of tailgating. And we all know what that means. Wink. But at the end of the day, look, what it boils down to is, we just want to have a lot of fun and get back to it.
All right. We'll be back on Knightline at night right after this. Hey, Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back on Knightline at night with you. I almost messed up the name of the show. Oh, boy. It's getting late, past my bedtime. All right, we're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. I got Big Ben Stout here with me and Roger Phipps. And one of our presenting partners is Tijuana Flats, and we do a thing called the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Let's do that real quick. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, I'm going to do my Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week real quick. By the way, if you haven't checked out Tijuana Flats, you're living under a rock if you haven't, by the way, but please go check out Tijuana Flats. Absolutely awesome food. But my Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week is that Big Cat Bryant, that is the transfer from Auburn coming to UCF, a defensive end, will lead the AAC in some category. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say which one, but it could be sacks, it could be quarterback hurries, it could be fumble recoveries, something. He will lead something in the American next season, or this season, actually.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I guess my hot take of the week is I'm going to stick with the basketball theme. I talked about Isaiah Adams getting drafted last week. I'm going to concentrate on another freshman this year. I think Jameel Reynolds is going to break out next year and just improve drastically over his season this year. He's 6'10", 280 as a freshman. He's going to get a full workout program in the offseason, and I think he's going to come back and just be a force in the middle for us next year, along with Isaiah Adams being that wing player, that leader of the team we need.
Yeah, and, with him, he just showed that with some conditioning, he could be dominant.
Absolutely.
So I absolutely agree with that one. All right, so for my Tijuana Flats hot take of the week, I'm going to swing it back to football, and I'm going to say that Mark Anthony Richards will become UCF's feature back by the end of this year. So we've got some senior depth back there, but I think by the end of the year, he's going to be the guy.
All right, and he is an Auburn transfer as well. He's a big back as well, fairly big compared to some of the other guys. So I could see that happening. I'm excited with all these transfers coming in from different places. The guy from Northwestern I'm really excited about just to see what he can do. Hard runner and a big back.
You think he's going to play a little fullback this year,
Probably,
maybe in his
yes.
system? Yeah, it's a big guy.
It's H-back,
in
this system, yeah. But yes, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be shocked if he didn't. I don't have his stuff in front of me as far as his size, but I know that he is
he's 6
foot one and like 220 pounds or something like that. Yeah, so he's a really big guy. If you go back to Northwestern's film from last year, he pounds it. I mean, he's really good at those 1 and 2 and 3 yard, 5 yard things, but can break it as well. He's a really fast guy for as big as he is. So I can't wait to see him. We've needed that. Yeah. We've needed these big backs for a long time. We've had these little tiny guys, which are a blast to watch, but just don't work doing a lot of the stuff. And a lot of the stuff, especially that I know Gus Malzahn's going to want to do, requires a big back there to push the pile. So
goal line.
Well, yeah.
No. That's where we've been our worst when it comes to the running game, has been at the goal line and within 20 yards in the red zone. So I absolutely agree with you. We need that big pounding, bruising back, and that 2-back set, going back to a 2-back set, is really going to help out.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to some movement back there and some
misdirection.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm looking forward to seeing more than like 3 running plays, some creativity back there. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I would think that you'll have some sweeps and stuff, especially with an H-back being back there with a lead runner. It can do a big difference.
Reverses.
Having a lead runner like that. So, all righty. Well, it's about that time. We are going to be back next week, same time, same station. Go Knights.
Charge on.